Welcome to the 2021 Kincardine Fall Fair. This year's fair is brought to you by Surf's Up Eco Shop, Ontario Ministry of Agriculture, Food and Rural Affairs, the Municipality of Kincardine, and the County of Bruce. On today's Ag Adventure, we head out to the Eisen family farm to see how robots are helping out in the dairy industry.
Hi guys, thanks for chatting with me today. Could you start off by telling us a little bit about your family history and what your farming looks like here?
Sure. So this is my family. This is my wife, oldest boy Allard, Harlan, and Sadie, my daughter. And we farm about 70 to 80 milking cows. And we are about the second generation dairy farmers. So my parents moved from the Netherlands back in 1988. And they started dairy that was here. And they are still helping out on the dairy, just on a semi-retired basis.
So what breeds of cows do you have here?
So we have a bit of a mixed breed here compared to most dairies. So we used to start out mainly with Holstein, which is a typical dairy breed. They're very good for production, probably the best. But we were finding that the genetics were getting a little bit weak on the strength of the animal themselves. So we switched over to a bit of a crossbreeding with the Fleck B breed, which is a dual-purpose breed that's beef and dairy, and it gives a lot of strength to the animal. And then eventually we were a little bit interested in Jerseys because of our automated milking system here. They're a little more curious to go in the robot. So then we tried out a bit of crossbreeding with Jerseys as well, and a little bit of Viking Red.
Okay, so could you explain to us how your Robo dairy works?
So it's called a VMS system. That's kind of the description for these ones. So the cows are not pushed into the machine. They go in on their own interest. So there's a bit of a grain in there, and they really like it. It's like a candy to them. So they are always wanting to go in there for the grain, and then while they're eating the grain, the robot is milking them. And it dispenses a little bit at a time just to keep them entertained long enough until the milking is done, and it lets them back out.
Perfect. So do you mix your own feed, and if so, what is that comprised of?
We do. So it's obviously right in front of us here. We do it once a day. We have baleage, so it's not a dry hay, it's kind of a silage that we bale it up. And our baler has knives in it, but we also have a tub feed mixer. So we throw it in with a skid steer, and then also we put in corn silage that comes from an upright silo, and there's some minerals and some grains that we add in. And once it's fine enough, then we feed it along in the mornings, this head gate here.
And where does your product go to after you've milked here?
So our milk gets put into a big bulk tank that's cooled down to 3 degrees Celsius, and then every other day a milk truck comes from Gailey Foods in Teeswater, and that's where our milk goes. Super
local, that's awesome. And do you have any hopes or wishes for the future of small town agriculture?
Yeah, I kind of hope that the big thing that's really driving the sustainability of dairy and a farm like this is the supply management system. That it doesn't need to be an enormous size herd to make it work. That it can be run by just a family, such as myself. And that's my hope, is that stays there. And it supports local, because we only support for within the country. It doesn't really go outside the country much at all. And I think that the consumer is wanting that anyway, so I hope that all stays together. And I think that'll benefit agriculture going forward, especially in the dairy.
Thanks so much for meeting with me today, Ron.
No problem. Thanks for coming.
Yeah.
Thanks for coming along on today's Ag Adventure. Join us back here again tomorrow as we explore another piece of Kincardine's agricultural community. And a huge thanks to our sponsors who made this possible.